What's up, everybody? This is Steve Strelacci, and if you have been a viewer of this channel before, you'll know that I am very into amp modeling for guitar players. I've got the Helix, the Fractal FM9, the Quad Cortex, got some of the Moore products. Modeling has kind of become my thing. After owning all of the units, I am just, oh my God, I just got so burnt out on amp modeling. I'm sick of it. I don't want to look at it anymore. So I'm taking a little bit of a break. Why is this important? Because I got this product that makes using tube amps an actual joy and a fun experience. It's something that can be partially digital, but also be using your real amp and your real pedal board. I am talking about the Torpedo Captor X from Two Notes Audio. And essentially what this is, it's a reactive load box that can take your favorite tube amp and you can dial it into the sweet spot. It gives you a whole studio to put your virtual cabinet in. You could change mics, you can move the mics, you could do so many different things with this. And it's actually fun to use and it's practical and it feels real, as if you had a real room that you were putting these cabinets in and miking them. I got this from photosavings.com and they're also sponsoring this video. They are where I get all of my audio, video, guitar pedals. I mean, they have everything for a guitar nerd like myself that's also a YouTuber. I get pretty much everything from photosavings.com and they were kind enough to sponsor this video. So if you want to check out one of these Captor X's for yourself or any other, guitar or video photography needs, check out photosavings.com. So there are so many different ways that you could use this. Just as a load box itself, it's really great. It's very easy to use. You literally just plug your amp in and you are pretty much off and running. You have a great headphones out, which is nice if you want to just play silently. It's got two XLR outs, which you're going to want to use because of the stereo features that we're going to get into later. It also has the ability to attenuate into a real cabinet. So you can take your real guitar sound simultaneously. You could just put the XLRs in the back. So if you want to just, instead of miking your cabinet, put the virtual cabinet to front of house or to the recording desk, whatever it is you're doing, you can do that. And you can also send that same actual line to your speaker cabinet in the room with you. And there's also an ability to attenuate that signal. There's 3 levels of attenuation. I think there's regular, there's medium, and then there's low, which represents how much volume you're sending to the cabinet. And using those XLR outs is great if you're doing something like an FRFR setup like the Line 6 Power Cab on stage with me, but I also want to send a signal to the front of house. I can split that signal and have one signal on stage, one signal go to front of house, or you could just go stereo front of house, have floor wedges in front of you. The possibilities are kind of endless when it comes to just the routing possibilities with this. And something really cool is that every parameter and the presets are all foot switch controllable through this new, I don't even know if it's new. It's the first time I've seen it, but this new MIDI adapter that you have that comes with the unit that plugs into the 1/8" MIDI hole, and it basically allows you to have a fully MIDI foot switchable load box. So everything that you do inside, you can change with the foot switch. Now taking a look at the unit, on the front side where we have this beautiful looking light in the background, you have your out level, which is obviously the level that you're sending out. You have your voicing, and the voicing switch is really cool. It's basically a mid-range dial-in, so you can adjust to the different room and fine-tune where you are and the space that you're in. And then you also have that space knob, which is going to control how much space there is. So essentially it's your reverb control. And then you have your headphone out. You also have your high and low. So high and low is going to be depending on how much volume your amp puts out. If it's like a 100-watt Marshall or something, you don't want this to be on high, or low settings for lower wattage amps. And you also have your preset knob right here that lets you have 6 presets right there so that you could just keep it on your amp and turn your dial depending on what you want to get to. And flipping over to the other side, we have our 12-volt power. We have our stereo XLR outputs, your ground lift, your speaker outs, your speaker in, and you have the other side of the fan here. And you also have, again, this MIDI in, and then you also have this USB, which is going to tie us into our next segment here. That USB can tie into the Torpedo remote, which is an app on your device, your laptop, your cell phone. You can do it 2 ways. You could plug in directly to your laptop or computer via this USB cable, or you can do things like we are going to do them today, where I have everything happening on my phone. There's a Torpedo remote app, and this is all happening via Bluetooth. And as you can see on my screen here, you see all the stuff here. You see that my basement cabinet is in the studio. And there's all sorts of things you can do. Obviously, you can change from mic A to mic B, and you can also just, all I'm doing is tapping and dragging this microphone to put it exactly where I want it. You can change your volumes, your axis, your distance. You could see all of these things here. You have a built-in noise gate. And then if I swipe to the right here, you'll see I have a post effects. And the post effects, I have a really nice EQ that I can customize, put for bass or guitar. These are basically the key frequencies for the instrument that you're playing. I also have this enhancer, which is going to be really cool when we plug it in. You also have your reverb, and all of the reverb choices are really cool. If I just tap there, you see you have all these different reverb choices, and whichever one you pick, I could swipe back over and it puts your cabinet in the place that you just chose. So that's your chamber. That's your hall B, I mean. So it puts it in a hall. If I go to something else, like let's see this crypt. So I go to the crypt and it puts you in a crypt. So it takes your cabinet, puts it in a different place every time, whichever reverb you want. Really cool stuff. It also comes with 32 cabinets, and you can also purchase more cabinets. This is kind of the downer for me, is that if you find a cabinet that you really like, you can't just use any old IR in this type of program. It is an IR loader though. So if you have third-party impulse responses or you're familiar with IRs, you can also load in those third-party impulse responses in the software when you plug into the computer. All you have to do is literally drag them in, and you can just pop them in, and you do have the same access to all of the post effects, which is really cool when you are doing things with impulse responses. But I would recommend using the cabs because this is really cool. This Dyne IR technology is really something else. And as I said, you can buy any particular cabinet that you might want. There's also presets available for each cabinet. So for example, I'm using my 63 Bassman right now, and typically I would have to make this really loud and to be a pain in the butt to mic everything up and do things the old-fashioned way. So I'm going through and I had to buy this 63 Bassman Dyne IR so that I can move the microphones and do all the fancy stuff to it. And now I think that's enough talking. Let's hear how some of this stuff sounds. So this is a basic preset that I came up with. I don't have anything really on. So this is just my Bassman essentially. Let's hear what it sounds like. And now that's not very exciting, but let's take a look on the app here. You have access to all of these presets that are built into the app. So you could see here when I click on the Torpedo, I have all these built-in presets. So I can just tap into any of these and see what they sound like. So let's say long stereo reverb. Let's check out what that sounds like. This is my first time trying these. I don't have anything planned here. I hope it don't fall on my face here. So this is long stereo reverb. And it's cool, you hear the big stereo sound, but the cool thing about the presets is, say I don't want this, you could click on this I button and it'll tell you what cabinets are on the preset. So right here is this Jensen C12K, which could be cool for the Bassman, but say I don't want that. All I have to do is tap on the cabinet up here, go to 212, Blonde 63, and now I get my Bassman cabinet that I chose, and I get to put it in this preset. So here's that long stereo preset with my Bassman cabinet. Really nice. Let's check out some of these other ones. Let's check out this clean, warm humbucker. And again, this is giving us a cabinet that it came with here. This is Celestion Elite 80s in here, and we can see what that sounds like. nice. And I like the way that that sounds. And now I can say I hit my Norland ODRC for a little bit of a natural overdrive. I'm going to kick on a little bit of a delay from the Line 6 Echo Park. Nice, great sound. And what else do we have here? Let's check out one more preset, seeing what's stock here. Let's do something with this really cool double tracker. So let's pull up this rhythm double tracker. What cabinet? That's that 412 Marshall. I'm going to change the cabinet back to my Bassman. Okay, so now I have the double tracker on. So if I swipe over, you'll see that the twin tracker is now on, and that is going to give me a wider sound. It's going to sound like two guitars are playing at the same time, but they're going to slightly be out of sync with each other, which is exactly what you would get if you played the track twice, or if you had a second guitar player playing the same track as you, very commonly used in the studio. So let's hear what this sounds like just recorded direct here. Now I can adjust the tightness of this double tracking. Let's go to the opposite spectrum. So now it almost sounds like a slapback when that's all the way dialed up. This is great for like solos. If you want to double track any solos. That's pretty much slapback status right there. So if we find a middle ground here, using this tightness switch, let's bring that to about there. And if you pay close enough attention, I would suggest listening with headphones. You'll hear slight differences in the right and left panning using the twin tracker. Now let's take a look at this enhancer. So let's turn the twin tracker off and take a look at this enhancer. So the enhancer it's basically a 3-band EQ if you want to think of it that way, where body is going to add a certain low end, thickness is a mid-range, and brilliance is a high end. This is a specifically dialed in, predetermined thing. So if I put this on guitar here, you'll hear that you can enhance the low, mids, and highs using the enhancer. I think that the Captor is a really great unit. For $600. You get a ton of stuff. I mean, that's the price of an actual cabinet with speakers, and that's not even an expensive one. This gives you unlimited possibilities for recording guitar. I mean, it's fun to use. I mean, I'm having a great time with this thing. I really am enjoying it. And I actually don't miss my modeling software. I am loving using my tube amps again. And it is what it is at this point. So again, I want to thank Photo Savings for sponsoring this video. And I want to thank you for watching this video. And if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the next one.